All right, Dan, let's go ahead and get your process started and get your movement torn down. And do our jeweling and cleaning. Okay. Missing a screw. This has a jewel. It usually is a bushing. We're at no markings on the back of your dial. Well, boy, that's hard to see. Yeah, nothing discernible. All right, your ring is cracked, so we will have to either try and fix that or find a new one. Interesting. Alright, so there's other 6309 parts here. This is from a 6309. Not correct for this particular movement. It works, but it's not original. Ooh, goodness. That is pretty bad. Definitely need jeweling. Oh, goodness. Oh. I don't know why you have these massive scribe lines in your movement. It's really weird. There's one here too. This hole is egged out enormously. That is an incorrect screw. Okay, well that's your teardown complete. We've got some pretty important work to do at this point. We're gonna do some jeweling, and this is in dire need of that lower mainspring arbor board jewel. We've got some hand cleaning to do. This definitely needs upper mainspring arbor board jewel as well. I'm going to check out all your components by hand, give them a close inspection, and then move forward. Okay, we'll be back. We're back. Okay, time to start reassembly. Just to point out, you've got a new lower mainspring and upper mainspring arbor port jewel. This bushing was really badly damaged. I'm not sure who worked on this watch, but they did some graffiti and some damage. It's weird. Got your new balance wheel here. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, let's check in and see how we did. Okay, it's a pretty good starting point, actually. A little bit of adjustment to do, but overall, that's nice and clean. What a good signal. All right. Got a little bit of beat error. All right. Well, it's going to move around a little bit, but we're going to keep an eye on it and tweak those values a bit. But let's get it in the center here so we can watch it. But overall, that's the way you want it to run. Pretty darn good right there. You might need to tweak the rate a little bit, but otherwise, doing good. Yeah. Okay. Pretty sensitive, so let's see. Yeah. All right. Well, that's perfect. Great. All right, I'm feeling good. Let's let this finish breaking in, and we will revisit and finish putting things together. All right, we'll be back. Okay, Dan. We are right here at the end, and we're gonna finish up and get to review the process here. Got a couple final things to take care of. Okay. And there we go. All right, let's have a look. Okay, and there it is. All right, well, this is your lovely 6105 8000 from 1968. It's looking really awesome. I think it just came out cosmetically really great. I mean, it is, you know, a watch that came in. It had a crystal that needed to be replaced. It was missing its bezel. You know, we had gone over a few things about condition and originality and things like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's a lovely watch. From wrist level, it's going to look amazing. It's now completely serviced and has had the right things done to make sure that the watch has its longevity and survives, continued into the future. You know, it's over 50 years old. It's amazing to think that these things still chug along after all that time. You had mentioned that this watch belonged to somebody who perhaps tinkered with the watch and did some things that were, you know, it was an old dive watch that was probably not worth very much compared to where it is now, and people messed with them and they did things to get them running or to make them look better, and you know, that's okay. It's part of the history of the watch. We went ahead and replaced a few things. I'm going to just review those things now. So this was a 6309 balance assembly, so that's been replaced with one that's appropriate for this watch. Not that this doesn't run and work, but you wanted to make sure it at least had the right components for this particular model. Here's your original crystal. That's going to come back to you. I'm not sure if that's an original Seiko, but it's the one that was with the watch. Just some seals and other small items. This was your crown seal. I rebuilt your crown. We have to talk about your crown and stem assembly next. Your crown seal, these tend to shrink over time and harden, as you can see. And actually, you know, they truly, well, they shrink around this donut, and that leaves some gap between the tube and the seal itself, which makes a big difference in terms of what we're going to discuss in just a moment. So that's coming back. This is your case back seal, of course. We got a new one there. And this is your bushing that was part of your upper arbor port hole. And now that's a jewel, so that's been jeweled and replaced. So that's doing really nice. The one thing, oh, and I also built you a new keeper for your spring on the bezel. So now that tunes just like it should. Somebody described that to me as like a knob on a 70s hi-fi. You know, it should just turn nicely, kind of a two-finger turn without a whole lot of resistance, and that's sort of where you are, and it's really nice and smooth, and hopefully, you know, it's nice and secure. These can pop off if you bump it really hard, because it's basically three little bumps that come off of that spring that hold it in place, but it's pretty secure, so that's where you want it. So your crown, I rebuilt your crown. And put the new gasket in, which sort of holds this really solid to the tube, unlike this one. However, your stem is bent, and that's a problem because of the way that this is kept in the case and the tube. If the stem wants to make the crown rock back and forth like it would, you tend to have some interference, and you're going to feel some stiffness when you set the time or the date. It's not going to be terrible, but right about there, every time you hit the 35 to 40 minute mark, you know, you're going to feel a little stiffness. Maybe it's actually moving its way around because it's not, the number of turns isn't commensurate with this. So as you move it around, it's gonna feel stiff. There's not a whole lot I can do about that. I cannot straighten crowns or stems. Unfortunately, they are sort of a thing that's, you know, they're hardened, and so as a consequence, the first time you bend it, it's bent. The second time you bend it, it's broken. So I left it, and I searched and searched and searched through everything I own. Excuse me, but I could not find a replacement. I have some for, you know, for other Seiko models, but these have a particular length. They're shorter than the other style, and at least on the inside where it goes into the case, I just don't have one. So I apologize. It's going to be, you know, it's going to have this dead spot in it where you're just going to feel more resistance. And you may even, just the nature of these, you may see the dial actually try and move just a little bit. I'll make sure the case back is nice and tight, but the compounding issue is that you have one of the older style movement rings, which is basically just 3 little points where this touches instead of having a spring to hold the movement tight within the case, and so they're not quite as tight as the later models, which is why they switched to those. So you may actually encounter a little bit of motion as it tries to rotate, you know, because of this bent nature. So it's unfortunate. I wish I had a better outcome for your stem, but I just don't, and I'm sorry. So, but that's the watch. I think it looks fantastic. It's running great. The numbers are fantastically good. They're just nice and even and steady, and I'm really happy with the outcome. All right, well, Dan, thank you so much, and I look forward to getting this back to you, and I'll be in touch, and thanks for watching. One last thing, I wanted to go over your 6139 as well. I have you have another stem issue. It's really unfortunate. So again, crown and stem needed to be replaced on this one. It's been replaced. It's correct now. Everything works exactly as it should. We click through day and date, no problem. It rotates your inner bezel, sets the time, does all the things that a crown and stem should do. So this lovely Pogue is ready to come to you along with your beautiful 6105. All right, again, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.